Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Life with Shenita. I am Dr. Shenita Connolly, and I am delighted that you are joining us for this evening's broadcast on thankfulness. If you are not watching it live and you catch it later, I'm hoping that it will be just as impactful as it is in the live format. If you would, like and share the broadcast so that others can enjoy this conversation with these incredible people that I am so thankful to have in my life. So tonight's show is about thankfulness. And so when I think about being thankful, that's my posture. Like that's who I am. And we know that thankfulness is an emotional response to something good that has either happened to us or to someone who has helped us, or they are thankful because we've helped them. Feeling grateful because of something, feeling happy, that's a posture of thankfulness. Being conscious of a benefit that we have received in some way, being well pleased or glad. When I think of thankfulness, all of these things come to mind. Just a few examples when I asked my guest this evening to be a part of the broadcast. I was grateful. I was thankful that they said yes. I'm always grateful when people take out time to spend with me or to return a call. Those small things. It doesn't have to be huge things. The generosity of someone who helped me out at work, even. So I'm sure all of us can relate to being grateful, being appreciative, being thankful. And so I am going to allow my guests to join me on the stage this evening so that we can have a wholesome conversation with each of them. So with that being said, I am going to bring them in one at a time. So join me in welcoming Andrew Snorton to the stage. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, Shenita. It's always a pleasure and a privilege. And good evening to, the amazing audience, and looking forward to being a part of tonight's conversation. And hopefully it's not only positive takeaways for everyone that's liking, watching, and sharing, but positive takeaways for everybody on panel. So I'm real excited, looking forward to seeing who's up next. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Welcome to the platform, Jim Collins. Good evening.
Well, hey, Shenita. Shenita and I were just reflecting on the fact that we've known each other for going on 25 years now. So while I've known her for that long, all the other panel members tonight are new to me. So I'm making it's an opportunity to make new friends.
Yes.
And very grateful to be here and very appreciative of the audience that's out there. Want to wish you all the best. If you're in the U.S., certainly wish you the best for the Thanksgiving holiday that's coming up.
Yes, thank you. Frank Williams, welcome to the platform.
Well, I'm really excited to be here tonight with you and your other guests, and I'm ready to learn and explore with everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Last but certainly not least is the beautiful Pastor Robin Watson joining us this evening. So, welcome to the platform. Good evening.
Thank you. Can you all hear me?
We can.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Hello? Okay. I can.
Okay. All right. Welcome.
I'm actually going in. Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to see what everyone is thankful for, even the small, the big, and in between. And I just want to thank you for inviting me to your platform.
Yes, absolutely. And one more that I cannot forget, the man, the myth, Arthur Bowens.
You said the man, the myth. Wow, I love it. Greetings, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. As Shenita would say, hello, everyone. I am Arthur Bowens, and as always, I'm super excited to be a part of anything Life with Shenita is doing.
Well, thank you so much. So let's get right into it, you all. I would like for you all to, I know you have just, casually introduced yourselves, but I know that we have talked about adding a piece of something special to tonight's broadcast. So let's start out with a short prayer by Pastor Robin Watson. Would you grace us with a short prayer of thankfulness?
All right. It's Father, as a woman greatly helped by you, and in this ministry that you have lavishly sown your mercy, I say thank you. Thank you for life. Thank you for the Holy Spirit. Thank you for your word. Thank you for the power of wisdom. Thank you for the system of advancement that you have granted us access to. Thank you for the anointing. Thank you for placing your hands upon our lives and causing the people that we experience to have light even from us. Thank you for granting us access to illumination. Tonight we come with an open heart. Tonight we come ready to receive the Lord Jesus. Let no one walk away from this broadcast with being disappointed. For in Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, let's move into this next phase that I want us to kind of talk about briefly. I shared what I think thankfulness is. I would like for you all to share what it means to be thankful to you. Robin?
Also, this is going to be a ladies first tonight thing.
Yes.
Shenita, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Um, I'm actually thankful of what I'm before. I mean, the acknowledgement, and I don't want to sound as if I'm bragging, so I won't go where I really want to go. But I just thank God for small things. I thank God for all things. I thank God for being here with you all tonight. Um, Things that people don't really have the oomph to thank God for, I'm thankful for. And I hope that we all are thankful for you for inviting us to this platform and meeting new people and new friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. It says in Psalms 136:1, oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy and love kindness endures forever. I'm thankful for that.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Author?
I'm, I'm going to assume that I'm having a delay.
Uh, thank you. Author?
Yes, ma'am, I got kicked off briefly, so what did I miss for the last minute?
So I wanted you to share what it means to be thankful to you.
So what it means to be thankful to me, most of the time we look at good things, but some of the things I'm thankful for are like, I'm thankful for actually being able to go through a storm or go through the storm and come out on the other side, because oftentimes we want the good without going through the fire, so to speak. So if I'm honest with myself and I look at all of those quote unquote bad things that I've been through, they've actually helped shape and help mold me into a better person that I am today. So as crazy as it may seem, I'm thankful for the storms.
I can so relate to you. So thank you for saying that. Jim?
This is a really good question, and I'm not sure I have how much wisdom I have to share on this, but when I think of thankfulness, I think of it on different levels. I mean, at the simplest level, it's an act. Someone does something for you or gives you something, you're thankful for that. You're great.
Mhm.
It's very discreet, very, very time bound. But it's also kind of a state of mind, where you have almost a way of being, I guess I might say, and it's the way you relate to the world. It's kind of an appreciative mindset where you are essentially focusing on what you have or what you have been given versus focusing on what you lack or what you haven't got or been given. And that makes a whole lot of difference, not just in one's mindset, but I think one's mental health and one's happiness. I just know the less I focus on and think about myself, the happier I am. So,
Mhm. Yeah, it is a state, it is a mindset. That's why I mentioned it's my forever posture. And author said, some of the things that we've gone through in life that were not so good from our perspective really shaped us to be who we are today. I think I'm a much better person today at 60 than I was at 40.
yeah, I knew you had 40.
Right.
You were pretty good back.
I love my friend Jim. So, Frank.
I really like what Jim said when he talked about the fact that part of being thankful is not focusing on oneself. And one of the things that one of my mothers in the faith said many years ago is that if you wanted to see the portrait of the deeply depressed, it's that person that can't get themselves off their mind. So one of the things that I say is that we should bathe in the sun. Now, the way that I address the question of thankfulness, actually I've created 10 principles of gratitude, but I'm only going to share 5 really quickly. So the first one is don't worry, be happy. You all remember that there was a very popular song by that title. And Pharrell, I would like to say, reprised that song with his song, Be Happy. Both of them were big hits. Don't worry, be happy. The next one, gratitude triggers rewards. So sometimes those people who often find themselves without, maybe it's because they're not grateful. True appreciation, number 3, is a reflection of real gratitude. So it's one thing for a person to say, "Oh, I really appreciate you, Shenita," but then if that person really appreciates your show, then at a minimum they would share your show with somebody else. That costs them nothing to do that.
Absolutely.
Love requires gratitude. I'll just park that there. And then the fifth one, thanksgiving in the face of adversity requires faith. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. I agree with all of those. Andrew, what you got behind that?
Yeah. And of course, thanks to everybody sharing their perspective, which is part of what allows everybody to grow. When I hear thankfulness, it is about perspective. And I think a central theme is be cognizant of what you allow to have residency in your mind and your spirit. It is very easy to lose perspective or undervalue or underappreciate the things that are working in your favor. And as I like to say sometimes, when we look at whatever adversity we're dealing with, and nobody here wants to deal with adversity. However, when you think about that, there's someone out there that would love to trade places with you, would love to, for like our term, have your life challenges. It doesn't diminish what storm you're going through, but it gives you a whole lot of perspective, and it puts you in a position where you can pause, reboot, reimagine, revisit, pray, meditate, reflect, slow down the moving parts, and do a better job of operating in clarity versus confusion. So again, thankfulness is about perspective and whatever is going in your favor or what's kind of getting you left or right, being able to kind of refocus, recenter, pause, reboot, reimagine, reinvigorate, and look at things for what they are. And just like people have alluded to, when you go through it, you grow through it.
Yes, definitely grow through it. Ooh. With that being said, Jim, I know we kind of talked about a quote of thankfulness.
A quote of thankfulness?
Can you think of a quote that...
Give me... That's a good question. Not off the top of my head, but I guess I would just say, whatever your station, wherever you are, whatever you have, to the extent you be grateful for that, it opens you to all additional blessings from God.
Yeah, absolutely. Author?
I would say the first thing that comes to mind when I think of a quote is actually a Bible verse that says, "Let us come into his presence with thanksgiving, and let us make a joyful noise to him with songs of praise." So anytime I think of thankfulness, I think of thanksgiving. Even when I want to complain, I have to keep in mind that I have to be thankful for the good times as well as the bad times. And that's something that I've learned over the last year. It's easy to give someone else this great advice, but I never take my own. But I've actually had to apply it pretty much every day over the last year. So thankfulness to me is thanking him for everything.
Yeah. When I think about the journey I'm on, 9 years of losing my husband and not losing my mind, not losing my home, not losing, the most valuable things, relationships with my family members, because I thought I was going to lose my mind. So I'm not only thankful during this time of the year, but as I said earlier, my posture is that of thankfulness all the time, because I know many people who are homeless because they lost a marriage, they lost a job, they lost a home, and they couldn't bounce back from the loss. And so I oftentimes think about where my life could be versus where it is. And so I'm always thankful for the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, because as someone said earlier, it really does shape us and make us who we are today. Robin, you want to tag in?
Well, I just feel, I don't know, the way that I'm going to say the world is now, it's so sad to me that I see, like I went to the grocery store, this is just an example, and people are rushing around trying to get this, trying to get that, prepared for Thanksgiving, which is next week. But how often do we just wait until it's Thanksgiving to be thankful? And it makes me so sad that people only celebrate thankfulness when it's around Thanksgiving. What about those days in between? What about those things before? Some people make it seem like it's a New Year's resolution or something, and it really makes me sad that people are not as thankful and acknowledge God as much as they should. That's just my opinion. Just seems like everybody's running crazy and not acknowledging who God really is in our lives to be thankful for,
Yeah.
So, it may be small things, it may be big things, but whatever they are, we should acknowledge who God is and be thankful for that.
Yeah, I understand your point of view, because I think about that leading up to Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's in the air. In the air is so wonderful. It's so cheerful. It's so joyful. And then we go back to this, dreadful spirit that plagues the world. So that's why I try to let my light shine. And I think we're all responsible for allowing our light to shine so others can see our light, and hopefully it reflects to them and has an impact on their life, because yes, we don't know what people are going through and what they're dealing with, But if we have a light that's bright enough to shine, perhaps it will change their perspective or outlook on life as well. And so, I'm grateful that we are having this conversation, and I hope that something that has been said or will be said will help impact someone else on this journey of life, not just this season. But I wanted to stop and focus on thankfulness during the month of Thanksgiving, particularly.
Yes.
And my friend Eric, I want to just say to him, Eric Bell, who was scrolling through Facebook and said, oh, he's so glad that he came upon this conversation. And so I'm so grateful to him as well, because he's our smoked turkey guy. He's our smoked whole chicken guy. He's our smoked ribs guy. And so I'm so thankful for him, because when he smokes
I guess you're thankful for that, right, Shenita?
I'm so grateful. So grateful. So yes, I am. So I know I kind of talked to Andrew about a piece of advice that your parents gave you growing up. Can you share that with the audience, Andrew?
Well, I mean, there's so many things to choose from, to be quite honest with you. But you know what? I think the simplest of the life lessons my parents have shared, and it's something I incorporate each day. And I know it sounds very fundamental, but be thankful and grateful. So part of my morning routine when I do my prayer or meditation time is I'm very intentional with being thankful and grateful, whether it's the gifts and talents that you possess that you're using or the ones you've yet to discover, to a lot of the essentials. And like other people have alluded, it's not to say you don't see people with the spirit or measure of gratitude and whatnot, but it seems like it's amplified at certain times, and then it's kind of brushed aside the rest of the year. And it doesn't mean there are not areas of concern. We are aware of a number of those, but like the adage, you got to stop and smell the roses. And it's like, as fundamental as it sounds, did you wake up in a good, in a positive frame of mind? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have clothes on your back? Do you have the option to prepare something or go and get something to eat? Do you have transportation? Like, there's enough reminders during the day, like I was sharing earlier, for you to sit, like the elders would say, go sit down somewhere and I'm serious, like go sit down somewhere and really take inventory of the number of things, small, big, and in between, that you really are blessed to have. And that will give you perspective when, chaos and disorder come around.
That's good. Go sit down somewhere and reflect. Because if we all were to do that, there's so much to be thankful for, to be grateful for. So thank you to your parents for being thankful and grateful, and really instilling that in you. Jim, I know that you have to leave soon, so I want to give you an opportunity
thanks.
to kind of share what you are most thankful for, and kind of share that with us. I know you're getting ready to travel.
Well, so I want to build on what Andrew just said, and I'm reminded of a quote from Willie Nelson, that eminent philosopher of, Western philosopher. But a quote he had was, when I started counting my blessings, my whole life turned around. And I think I experienced that personally in my life. I mean, there was a period of time, this is before I met you, Shenita, that, well, it was after, where, my life was my darkest days, and I was so filled with, that the lousy hand that had been dealt me, and all of the things that had been taken from me, and the terrible situation I was in, and so forth. But I had 3 kids that were depending upon me. Thank God for them. And I said, what am I teaching them? I'm teaching them to be crabby and cranky and ungrateful. And So it was that point in time where I said, look, what do I have? What are the things that I am blessed with that I can be grateful for? And let's focus on that. And for me, my life did turn around. And so what am I thankful for, to answer your question? Oh, where would I even begin to start? I think I'm thankful for everything, but certainly grateful for my kids. They have made such a better person out of me.
I love it.
They had a lot to work with.
Yep.
I'm grateful for my faith, and I'm grateful for my relationship with God. I am
Yes.
grateful for the opportunity to, for the gifts, the talents, the strengths that He has blessed me with, and the opportunity to apply them for the glory of His name. And I could go on.
Yes.
I'm grateful for His blessings.
Yes. And before you depart, I want to just, I've said this to you many times. Thank you for just being who you are. Before I came in with meeting expectations in 2000, I remember going to dinner, having a conversation with you about coming over from the military base to.
Right.
I remember that, and we were at the Buckhead Diner. That was in 2000.
Right.
I remember that being courted, to switch over companies, and we've maintained a friendship all these almost 25 years.
Yep.
And you left the company and moved away, and then invited me to come to Virginia. And let me tell you guys how wonderful of a friend Jim is. So before I came to Virginia to visit him, he sent a list of activities that he wanted to plan for me while I was visiting, and I got to choose from that list. And let me tell you how thoughtful he was. He said, I want you to share with me your favorite things to eat so I can have those things at my house for you to snack on. And I thought, wow, that is just so amazing to have people to think that much of you, to make sure that they ask you, what are some things you like to have at the house? What are some things you'd like to do? Here's a list of things that I like for us to do, but would you like to do them? So when I think of my friends or you guys on this platform, there's something special about each of you and people in my life. And I just hope that I have been just as good to you as you've been to me. Jim Collins.
Oh, well, thanks so much. Yeah. We'll rehash stories of that visit another time.
Yeah, we won't talk about it.
I just remember the arboretum we went to.
Yes, it was just great. It was a whole great. So I know you got to leave, and so I wanted to give you an opportunity to share parting words before you do.
Great. Well, so I've shared the things I'm grateful for, and it is my wish for not just, well, it's delightful meeting the four of you, Arthur, Frank, Robin, and Andrew. Super to meet you. I want to wish you all the very best for the Thanksgiving holiday and the Christmas season to come, of course. I think I'm just looking forward to continuing on this journey. The Lord's been very kind to me. And we're just going to see where it takes me. I don't really have a whole lot of plans other than to kind of, try to better understand, fulfill His will.
I love you and I thank you. Safe
Great.
travels to your destination.
Very good. Thank you.
And we'll talk soon.
Okay, will do. Have a good evening, guys.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Be safe.
So with that being said, so let's go back to that, what we're most thankful for ourselves. So Robin, would you share just something that you're most thankful for? She might be paused. Arthur?
Most thankful for. Most thankful for. I'm most thankful for. I'm debating. My kids are probably going to beat me up because I really want to say kids, but then I have these grandkids who are grand boys who are like, oh my goodness, this is better than being a father. So I'm going to jump out there and say my grandkids. have a 12-year-old. Yeah, Franklin is 12 now.
Yeah.
Wow. So that means Madison is growing up.
Yeah. Did he tell you that he saw her at church and I said something to him and showing him a picture when they were 5?
No, he didn't tell me. That is hilarious.
Yes.
But yeah, Franklin is 12 and his younger brother Trenton is 6 now. So definitely having an opportunity. Last week I picked them up on a school night and I said, hey, we're just going to go somewhere to eat. And we just went to IHOP and just had what they consider to be meaningful conversation. But I just wanted them to talk and get it out just to make sure that no matter what it is or how crazy it is, they know that they can come to their granddad and have a conversation about anything. So
Yes.
I would say my grandkids. But my daughters are a close second, a very close second.
Yes. And grandkids give life a new meaning. I'm not sure who else on here other than me, you, and Robin that are grandparents, but grandchildren give life a whole new meaning, I must say. So I'm with you on that. But it had not been for the children, you would not have grandchildren. So we definitely got it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Wear that break glass in case of emergency. When they need a break, hey, please tell me. You can keep them this weekend, no problem.
Yes. Robin, can you hear us? I'm not sure if our connection is still not good. But Frank, something that you're most thankful for.
I'm most thankful for the faithfulness of Jehovah. You know, I was thinking about what you shared earlier, Shenita, about your journey. And the past 5 years have been difficult for a lot of us. You know, wearing the mask and social distancing, and many of us have experienced a lot of loss. And when you invited me to be a part of this, I just was hopeful that I could be a part of saying something to encourage those people, because as you know, Shenita, a lot of people struggle around this time of year, thinking about all that they don't have, all that they've lost. And if that loss is recent, I want to say that we understand your pain, and it's okay to feel that pain. However, what I would like to encourage those people to do is not isolate. Don't isolate. Communicate. This would not be the time to pull all the blinds down and turn off all the lights. This is a time for you to get in the sun, call your friends up. And, you know, even some people are thinking about curling up in a corner because no one has invited them to dinner next Thursday. Well, invite yourself. Invite yourself. But please, please reach out. There are people who have already made it known to you that they care. Reach out to them. They want to love on you. Let them love on you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, because you're right. There's so many people that will get lost during this time of the year and don't want to associate with anyone, feeling down, missing their loved ones.
Sure.
And I'm so grateful that I was able to pull myself out of that dark place, because I've been in that dark place where I wasn't sure that I wanted to continue to live.
Sure.
And so it's a real issue.
Sure.
And so we definitely don't take it lightly that there are those out there who are struggling. And if there's something that I can do to help, you know, I'm going to do my best to do that. And people know that, to help. I'm grateful for my widow and widowers ministry, Life After the Rain. I'm always trying to make sure that I'm doing something to keep them occupied and keep them thinking about life. That's how Life with Shenita was started, because God said, I need you to live. So in order to live, there is life. And so Life with Shenita doesn't mean just about Shenita. It means he's using Shenita to keep people alive. I understand the assignment. I'm not stuck on Shenita, but I understand the assignment. And so I'm attached to certain people for certain reasons, and I don't take it for granted at all. So I'm grateful that he can trust me with their hearts, because a heart is very fragile.
Yeah.
It's very serious. And I want to be the light to help people continue to move through this journey that they're on. Andrew?
Wow. Gosh, like, like everyone else has said, there's so many things when you sit and pause to be thankful for. The first thing that comes to mind is just another day and another opportunity. And that might sound like a cliche, but everyone doesn't even get that much.
That's right.
And whether it's clearing some health hurdles, as I was on the mend for a few days, about like 3 weeks ago, and I'll detail that another day, but being able to essentially clear a health hurdle when you were unsure as to what was going on. And like others have alluded to, the opportunity where you're still able to make that phone call to those members of your family, your friends, your loved ones, and even with the communication, like a quote that my grandmother on my mother's side would say, take time to see about people. And you know, not only the power of a hello that you put out there, but when it comes back to you, just like I got 2 messages today from friends of mine that I wasn't expecting to hear from. And what they shared helped, speak life and things along those lines. But to sum it up, be thankful and grateful for each day. And each day is an opportunity just to get a little bit better. If it means better with your physical health, better with your mental health, better with your communication, better with identifying things that we still have to work on. And we might not totally eradicate the worst of what we have, but if we can minimize it, at least we're making the effort to get better. Those types of things. And, even today, I know in Metro Atlanta, I grew up in the Northeast and Midwest. I was loving the wind today. I got out for my walk. I'm loving the wind howling and leaves blowing all over the place. I know everybody is like, nah, player, that ain't me. But
me either.
But it just being able to have the mindset, let me just pause and wow, the sun is shining. Wow, the leaves are blowing. Wow, the seasons are here. Wow, there's a little rabbit hopping around, whatever. I mean, just be thankful for each day and try to make the best of each day. We know every day isn't going to be perfect. There's going to be some things that are a struggle, but you're here. And while you're here, you have an opportunity.
Yes. I couldn't have said it any better. And my friend Eric said they have to keep the faith. Being thankful is the easiest way to come out of depression and sadness and whatever else the enemy is throwing at you. Being alive with a roof over our head and food and activities of our senses, etc., is a blessing, because so many people aren't. And as you said, a health challenge that you came out of,
that's right, you
could still be in it. So that's so much to be thankful for. I didn't realize that you were challenged until after you were coming out of it.
Yeah.
And so
that's another story for another day. But
right.
All here, like the beauty about everybody who's been on and whatnot, all of us, have a story. All of us have a testimony, like Arthur was saying, and we've heard this, you go through it and you grow through it. And even with what Frank was saying about your perspective, there's different life events that will force you to pause and reboot and revisit and reimagine. So think of what Frank was saying, like, there are times you need to be, to steal away and what have you, but it's the difference between stealing away and totally cutting yourself off and isolating. Mm-hmm. So understand the difference between the two. Arthur talking about, alluding to different life challenges and the perspective he has, and understanding that, hey, look, at different points in time, adversity is going to come, and it's a matter of when versus a matter of if. So even those things that they've both alluded to, and everyone else on panel has alluded to, comes back to, when you pause, then you can do a better job of taking inventory of the small, medium, and large and extra large blessings that really are around you. And you're here to still do something with them.
Yes. And bless the people. Because just imagine, and when I reflect on my life, my first husband, after baby number 3 was born, 30 days after she was born, she's 35 years old today, decided he didn't want to be married anymore. Just imagine if I had taken myself out of the equation of life, because that was so devastating. Now I'm a single mother with 3 children thrown into this single parent world that I didn't grow up in, because I grew up with both parents. Just imagine if that took me out. We would not be experiencing what we are experiencing today. Fast forward, God blesses me with a husband who was amazing. And then he takes him out after a perfect day of life. And I'm still here 9 years later. So we just have to really reflect and say, thank you for keeping my mind. Thank you for keeping my children, my health, my ability to keep going on and living a purposeful life. Because sometimes those dark moments, as we talked about, were very dark. And you couldn't really see yourself coming out the hole. So I'm so thankful, because it could be a different story for me, and as well as you all and our listening audience. It could be different. And so we really have to really take that seriously. Arthur?
Yeah, as you were speaking, I could just kind of remember that time when we know that Winston was a prankster, and he would play and be joyful. Yep. And even at that moment, you've even mentioned yourself that you thought he was just playing. He was just being his normal, playful self. But during that first 30-day period where we're trying to pray and we're really trying to figure things out and trying to find out what's going on, like, not right now, God. At that particular time, I think it was, we spoke that Sunday at church. He asked how I was doing, or he asked how me and Cheryl were doing. And I said, oh, we good. He got up and went right over there beside her, like, how y'all really doing? But that I could remember that I was so looking forward to that following week. It's like, ooh, we could meet with Shenita and Winston, and I got Winston, and he gonna be on my side, So just thinking through that and the shock of it all, and you were boots on the ground. So your hurt, your struggles, your challenges were a lot different than mine, I'm sure. But at the same time, it was like, no, we were just joking. Like, we have so much to do. We have so much to get accomplished. But I didn't even realize it had been 9 years already, So, wow. And I mean, how great of a God to keep us for 9 years through all of that. It's like, wow. But yeah, this particular show has really made me reminisce on, we come up with stuff when we're asked what to be thankful for. Everybody, oh, I'm thankful for this. I got the car. I'm thankful for the house. But when you really take a look at yourself and ask yourself, what am I thankful for? Because there's plenty of times that I probably shouldn't be here right now with some of the craziness I've done, So the fact that God kept us through that, and he knows that saw something great in us when nobody else did and didn't know what was going on, So powerful. Just makes me take an intrinsic look at myself like, whoa, wow.
Absolutely. Because we really all could have, based on some of the things that we've dealt with in our life, could not be here.
Yes.
So true.
And the fact that we are purposefully living and moving through this journey, impacting lives. Just think about that.
Yes.
Someone
Some of
said
the things
the other
we
day,
went through, not to cut you off, but some of the
Mhm.
things that we've went through, that we've gone through, that we're on the other side of, have taken others out. Whether it was health crisis that took them out, heart attacks or something from them trying to handle the stress, or whether they took their own life due to depression or anxiety or something like that. And here we are being ungrateful for some of the things when we know so many who didn't make it.
listen, when I think about my journey as a mother, and I have a son, the only son that's incarcerated, and how that took me to a deep place, a mother who had a nonprofit in the community, helping not only my kids, but other kids stay on the straight and narrow. And then I lost my son as an adult to some crime that he just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong friends. And it's been this year, let's see, he's been gone 11 years, almost 12, maybe almost 12. And we were talking the other night, and I just see the maturity. I see the growth. I see, his desire to come home and make an impact and do some amazing things. And I just said, sometimes he encourages me. And I say, thank you, God, for whatever you're doing in his life that's making an impact on my life. Because I was ashamed, and that shame could have taken me out. But I'm thankful to God that I'm still here and that I'm still moving purposefully through this journey called life, because I tell you, there are so many points in my life, and just like you all, I'm sure, that you weren't sure if you were going to make it. Like, I just don't know if I have what it takes to get through this dark moment. And so I just am grateful and thankful to my core for this journey. Frank?
Shenita, I'm so thankful for you being moved to share so much about your story. Just us having an opportunity to meet earlier, I realized that I haven't been fortunate to know you as long as Andrew or Arthur. And as a coach and helping people through challenges in life, I'm really moved by your story, because there's so many people who can figure out why they can't. And you figured out how to see a way you can. I've been really blessed hearing from these men, and it's clear to me that you were very intentional about how you were going to approach this show. I don't know if Andrew can agree, but as an educator for many years, often women were in the majority in the school.
Still are.
And so to be in a space where we are not the majority as Black men, I have to salute you for giving Black men an opportunity to say something, because a lot of people, and of course Jim was here as well, so we had diversity, but a lot of times people don't understand that Black men, we have emotions, number one.
Mhm.
we we have emotions. I'm really glad that Arthur shared the way that he shared, because Jim, I don't have any grandchildren yet,
Mhm.
but there are men who have no desire to get around their family this time of year because of the mistakes that they made. But listening to Arthur and Jim, it sounds like to me that grandchildren are another opportunity. So instead of running away, now okay, you messed up back then.
Mm-hmm.
You blew it back then, but you can't live the rest of your life back there.
That's right.
You have to move forward. And so this was very powerful in so many different ways. There are people who would have said, well, I'm not, I'm just finished going through a healing, so Shenita, I'm not going to be able to do your thing. But Andrew didn't say that. He said, hey, you know, I'm going to man up. I'm going to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes when you are grateful for somebody, then you push past whatever it is that you're dealing with and put them first. And some people will get healed by just taking that approach.
Absolutely. And something that each one of us had to say spoke to someone tonight or in the future. Because each of us have a connection or a way to connect to different people on different levels based on just who we are and what we bring to the table, right? So I understand that. And so that's why it's so easy for me to allow other people to be a part of my circle, my world, my experiences, because I understand that it's not about Shenita. It may start or God may use me, but there's a bigger picture at the end of the day. And
Yes.
so what we all have said in some way, shape, form, or fashion will bless somebody's life. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this platform with you all. And since April 16, 2020, I've been hosting this show. And I remember in 2020, I did a show on Black men, about Black men, and I did it probably every week, 1 month, because I really love you all. And I'm really there to support you. And if there's something that I can do to enhance who you are, Arthur knows this. Even if it's a tough conversation, Shenita is willing to have it. Right? And so in a loving way to help you. And I want people to do me the same way. If you love me enough, say it.
Yes. And that's that's that accountability piece too, warranted or unwarranted. We all need accountability partners who are going to, in a loving way, hold us accountable for what we should be doing and not buy into the nonsense of, they don't just allow us to continuously perpetuate that narrative that, whatever, get over it. You're the man, shake it off, keep going. Now, what are you going to do about it? Like, no, I'm still in the middle of complaining about it. I'm not I'm not ready to do anything. And to Frank's point, I was teaching Bible study last night, and I actually taught it here at the frat house. But someone reminded me that in my teaching, and I was talking about Daniel chapter 2, but they said that I said something that resonated with them about the past. Like, the great thing about the past is it's in the past. You don't have to keep running back to the past to revisit it over and over again. It's in the past. And then I said that you can't trip over what's behind you. And I'm like, that had to be God, because that was not in my mindset or whatever the case may be. But when Frank just touched on that, I was like, wow, I said that yesterday. So it might be some truth to that.
It's called confirmation.
Exactly.
It's called confirmation. So I would like for you all to share some parting words about who you are, what you do, how people can reach you, because I think it's important that we share resources, right? I can't be everything to everybody. You can't be everything to everybody. And so there's a reason why I believe networking is so important. And so let's start with you, Andrew. Let's share. I know I have your banner. I may not have Arthur's and Frank's, but when you guys speak, will you please share how they can reach you if they would like to connect with you?
Yeah, sure. And of course, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to Arthur, Frank, everybody who's been on. My moving parts are pretty simple on the education end, uh, whether it's standardized test prep to individual student coaching, hands-on workshops. On the press and media end, like I shared, credentialed for covering college sports, pro sports, members of Congress, as well as working with different individuals, events, with how they interface with press and media, and then a published author. So I'll be wearing my author hat, no pun intended, this Saturday at San Marco Bookstore and More in Jacksonville, Florida, this coming Saturday. The easiest ways to stay connected will be on Linktree. So instead of giving all 5,100 social media pieces, on the author end, linktr.ee/author Ace Norton. And on the education and press end, linktr.ee/Ace Norton CCS. Oh, and I forgot to add coffee collab with Fonte's Coffee. So those are the moving parts. Look forward to meet and greet and connecting, encouraging, supporting, and vice versa. And please do so for not only the host, but all of the guests tonight and previously and then down the road. Everyone's really bringing something to the table. So please make sure to speak life and encourage them as well.
Thank you. Frank?
So when you were sharing about your son, Shenita, I have to admit that I don't do a good enough job of talking about the book that I wrote, and I appreciate the work that Andrew is doing. I think I know that you've written a number of books yourself, Shenita. So the book is entitled The Hustler's Guide to God, and that particular book is something that I would love for every young man, especially any young man that has encountered the criminal justice system, to read, because I believe that if a lot of our young men understood the role that faith could have and develop an authentic relationship with Yahweh, a great deal of them would take a different path. And so I will put that right there. I'm on LinkedIn as Frank L. Williams, and I can be reached at 404 919 9359 on WhatsApp, because I realize you're dealing with an international audience. So that's a great way to be in contact on WhatsApp at 404 919 9359. In addition to being an author, I have my own driving instruction business. So I've been working with a lot of teens for the past 12 years in that arena. The area that Shenita recently learned that I am also in is I'm a financial coach. So I'm an MBA, and I do the same kind of work that people like Dave Ramsey does, helping people to figure out how to put together a financial plan and evaluate their credit and so forth. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Last but certainly not least, Arthur Bowens.
Yes, I am Arthur Bowens. I'm on Facebook as Arthur Bowens. I'm on Instagram as ATL King Arthur. That's my radio name when I'm one half of the Real Talk show, Real Talk with Kimberly Anise and King Arthur. I'm on LinkedIn, same thing, Arthur Bowens, TikTok, all of that stuff. You can figure that out. Retired Marine, I do credit repair, I preach at churches, I teach Bible study. You name it, I probably do it. I'm like one-stop shop. I'm like the grocery store.
Walmart.
Exactly. My primary job, though, I am a manager post office operations in the Alabama, Mississippi district of the Postal Service. So I basically pretty much got from Birmingham West, everything Birmingham West to the Mississippi state line, and an area north and south of Birmingham. So if I don't do it, I probably know someone who does, and I can help you get that taken care of, whatever your issues or concerns may be. And of course, I'm a proud member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and I'm our local chapter president here in Shelby County, just south of Birmingham. So you see people keep coming in the screen, and I got to kind of like give them a pound and they walk off because I forgot. I thought this was my night to do whatever, just have the house to myself. But yeah, they're out there fellowshipping and everything.
I love that fellowship. But I just want to say thank you to you all, and thank you to the audience for joining us tonight for this conversation about thankfulness. Life with Shenita started with the ultimate goal to help people overcome life's challenges and to encourage them to live a vibrant life. And I can only do that by being an example of doing so for myself. And so thank you all. I appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Love you dearly. I look forward to continuing to create more memories with you. Arthur, thank you for so much support that you've given Life with Shenita and Life After the Rain over the years. Andrew, I can't thank you enough for just jumping in to help me over these few years. I mean, in the trenches, you guys are amazing. And Frank is just begun with us.
Yeah.
So we've only just begun. You know that song?
Yeah.
So you will have more memories, to add to our bucket list in the future. So I'm just grateful. So keep shining, keep being great, men. I'm here cheering y'all on. Just know that you got a cheerleader in me. How about that?
Thank
I
you.
love it. I love it.
And to the parents,
Person.
Andrew, I just want to make sure that they heard you talk about the services that you provide to the youth, to help them with the PSAT, the SAT, the ACT, the school academic work. I just want to make sure that they know that you are the man. Madison just took the PSAT. I went out there and Googled to see, her score was only a little over 800 for the first time. That's not that great because I went out there to look, but it was her first time. So we probably need to have some sessions and offer it to, a group of her peers so that they can have practice test sessions more often before they get into high school.
Yeah, I'm working with kids right now. Working with kids, like I'm thankful and grateful on that end. Look, you just try to put people in a position where they're either able to open the door or they at least have the key so they can let themselves in. And that's the simplified way of looking at it. And it just helping people navigate through all of this way, shape, or form. We didn't get here by ourselves.
That's right.
And, what do? You do what you can to put people in a position where they're getting that much closer, because we without going too deep, we know how all that works. You got to help people clear the hurdle, and that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there, and to you all especially. If you need a house to eat or some food to eat, holler at your girl. I'll be in the kitchen baking all week next week, weekend and all next week. So holler at me. Love you guys so much. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Eric. Thank you to my beautiful niece, Wendy, and everyone else that joined in to the broadcast this evening. Remember, I love you, but God loves you most and he loves you best. Please tune in to my Facebook page for the December date for the December show. You guys hold tight. Take care, audience.